Hello again to you all. I'm Age of Dune, and we are back with another League of Legends Shoutcast. This one looks like it's actually a ranked team game, interestingly enough. We've got Super Team NA versus Team 8. That's very nice. I'll probably call them Super Team and probably Team 8. That's probably what I'll have to go with because hate is probably not going to happen. But I decided to go ahead and cast this game, not just because of that, but because of the fact that it is a game that has XDG NickWu here. XDG NickWu, as of today, apparently, is going to be joining in XDG. That's actually the reason I decided to cast this game. I believe he was in XDG before, or Vulcan. But as of today, the news came out that XDG will be getting rid of, let's see, who was it? I think BloodWater. Yeah, BloodWater is going to be benched. I think he's retiring. Zuna is going to be moving to support. BloodWater obviously was XDG's previous support. Zuna will now be support, and NickWu will be taking the place of Zuna in the jungle. So that's kind of interesting news. So the ex-jungler for XDG is going to remain as ADC. That's about to happen here. Wham! They're both just going to trade a little bit. Not too much going on here. But yeah, that's kind of interesting to me. They originally tried to go ahead and have Zuna be the jungler because he's their shot caller. And he's been their shot caller for a long time. And if you've watched, Season 3, all the time you heard the casters talking about how he was their shot caller, everything else. It's really hard to shot call when you're the ADC. So they switched him away from the ADC position, and they tried him in the jungle thinking that that would be better. Unfortunately, it was not what they needed, and they continued to remain very, very poorly performing. So apparently they're going to try something new. I don't know if they think that BloodWater is the problem or BloodWater is just tired of playing in a team that's losing all the time. I'm really not sure what the deal is. Either way, BloodWater is retiring and Zuna is going to be going to support. Honestly, I can see how this is going to work as well. I mean, I was speculatively thinking that having Zuna as the jungle would work. But unfortunately, it did not. It did actually the first game. I was very pleased with them the first couple games, and then all of a sudden they just kind of went blah, and that was the end of that. But I can see how this would do pretty well. I mean, support is honestly a position that you can shot call pretty decently from. So I do think that it's a possibility that having Zuna in the support position might actually be a good thing. Also, keep in mind, he used to be in the bot lane. He knows bot lane really well. He knows when to go in. He knows everything else. Jungle, he wasn't a jungle before. Jungle requires completely different skill set. You have to know when to gank. You have to know when somebody else is going to be ganking, so you can be there to counter gank. That sort of thing takes a while to learn. And with him not being a normal jungler, he didn't know these things. So they're going to go ahead and drop that, and he's going to go to support. He does know the bot lane very well. He used to play bot lane a lot, even when they were dominating the NA scene outside of Cloud9, obviously. Even then, he was playing bot lane. Not support, obviously, but he was still doing bot lane. And that sort of experience is probably going to be able to carry over into support position. I mean, I've noticed that my support skills, at least some of them, do indeed carry over into ADC. So I would imagine the reverse is true, and being in the AD or the support position will be not a ridiculous. Wow, this is a second gank here coming in from NickWu. He wants this Renekton down, and he is going to go down. Gets the assist. Trundle was able to wall him off there, so he would have gone down either way, but he managed to go ahead and get that assist in. And honestly, even had it not been for the gank, Trundle might not have been able to safely go in, because you notice the Renekton was having to run away a lot. Now he's going in on the Mordekaiser, who's having a pretty bad time of it here, and he may end up going down. Oh, he flashes away from that spear, so he's not going to go down. But it was really close. Had he been hit by that spear, he probably would have been chunked to death. But didn't end up happening. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I wanted to go ahead and take a look at NickWu in the jungle, and honestly, so far, I've been pretty pleased. He's already ganked a couple times, got 1 kill and 1 flash, so he's doing pretty well, and we'll see if it ends up turning out that way later on. I do know Lee Sin is a really strong jungler in the right hands. In my hands, I don't think I would be able to do very well. It's not really my playstyle. But in the right hands, Lee Sin can be amazing, and having somebody who can play Lee Sin pretty well is going to be a benefit to XDG. So we'll have to see if that ends up happening. Probably about to see a Lantern gank here. Looks like they are setting it up here. Thresh is working his way out a little bit, and now NickWu is picked up by that ward, so it's not going to end up happening. He came into that bush, was warded. Oh, never mind. Okay. No, it didn't end up happening. They backed off as soon as Thresh started being a little bit aggressive. And they're going to go ahead and back off. NickWu's going to go ahead and head back, and everything's going to return to as it was before. But in the meantime, looks like Renekton and Trundle were duking it out up here again. Trundle actually didn't go back after getting that kill earlier, which a lot of times is somewhat of a silly move because, you know, your enemy gets to go back and buy things. So he's going to be coming back to lane with some decent items. If you notice, the Renekton, in this case, came back with a Doran's Blade in addition to the Doran's Shield he already had. Or maybe it was vice versa. I'm not altogether certain. But that gives Renekton the opportunity to go ahead and do exactly what he's doing now and go in on the Trundle. Trundle was actually able to live there, and that did use up the Renekton Ignite. So that actually didn't come out too poorly. The Trundle did use his final potion there, but yeah, he's not actually too far behind. Renekton himself only has 1. He does have really good sustain, but honestly, so does Trundle. Every time a minion dies, he's getting healed. So, you know, I don't know that was really the best engage of Renekton there, because he was not able to really do anything with it, and he kind of just wasted his Ignite and took a decent amount of damage there for really no reason at all. Down bottom, it looks like there's a bit of an engagement down here. I have a feeling Thresh probably landed a hook. There's the Flay onto the Draven there, doing a bit of damage indeed. Mostly just attacking with his auto attacks there, getting that Flay passive to go ahead and plink him for even more. And Lulu actually did even more to him. He's forced to use the shield to keep himself from dying there to the Ignite. He is going to live, but he had to use that shield. The shield is now down. If they get into another fight, which they are doing right now. Oh, misses the pull there. The shield's not there. So it's going to force them to be a lot more cautious now. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lanes here. We do have up top Arthalon playing the Trundle against California Trollals playing the Renekton. And we do actually have a gank coming in here from Vi as well as NickWu, who actually pretty good timing here. He was coming up for a gank actually. And unfortunately, he was not able to get there at just the right time. And now he's forced to run away. He's going to get over that wall with no problem though. But he was coming around for a gank of his own. Vi was there to counter it. She came in from this way. He came in from this way. He was a little bit further back. And unfortunately for them, Trundle ended up going down. Even though it says he still has 84 health. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. The Trundle, he should have gone back a lot sooner. He does not have teleport. So I can't say I blame him too much for not wanting to go back. But honestly, it would have done him a lot of good. He would have had that extra item. He probably would not have taken nearly as much damage. And even if he had, he would have had the sustain to deal with it. So we do have a little bit of a fight going down here. It looks like the Draven decided to go ahead and attack under the tower. And that got him quite low. The death sentence misses again. And Draven's actually taking a lot of damage from Lucian there. Although Lucian has a decent amount of damage, Draven has a lot more early game. So if it does come to a fight, I do believe Draven comes out ahead, especially since Vi is on her way down. She's waiting in the tri-bush. The death sentence comes out, going in on the Draven. Draven goes down, and that didn't end up going their way at all. Had the death sentence not landed, I don't think it would have turned out nearly that way. Vi was getting ready to go ahead and turret dive this. But the death sentence landed on Draven, which takes out a big chunk of their damage, and then they were able to go ahead and finish him off there. In the meantime, Lee Sin came mid. The ulti comes out from Mord, and it does force the Nidalee to get out of there, and now he's going in on the Lee Sin. The spear comes in, chunks him a little bit, but it really doesn't do too much. So Nidalee's going to have to be careful. She does have her heal, so she's going to be okay eventually. Right now, she's definitely not. Right now, she's got to be really cautious, or she can go down to this Mordekaiser pretty quickly. On the plus side for her, he did just use his ulti there. So she doesn't have to worry about that happening. Now she just has to worry about trying to secure as much of this farm as possible, which she did, and now she'll probably head back. Yeah, it looks like she is indeed heading back. Or not, just kidding. Nidalee's really good at getting back into lane, though. Just because of that, the ulti, which isn't really an ulti for her, but you know what I mean. She has that ability to get her back in lane. She's going to go in and take down the Mordekaiser, though, who got a little creep block there. Vi came in. Vi is 6. Could have gone in, immediately taken down the Nidalee, got out, but she decided not to. And now she's gotten pushed out as well as Lee Sin came in to help out. So, I'm going to go ahead and continue with this while I have the opportunity here. We've got Nidalee, played by Nidish Herman, instead of Nidish Hermain, which I'm pretty sure is what he used to be. The Mordekaiser's played by From Maple Street, who a lot of people know from last season. He was the AD carry for Velocity, which is now dead. But I think he's still wanting to get into teams, and we may eventually see him getting into a team in the mid position. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. As from what I understand, he's actually a pretty good mid. Not the greatest, of course. He's no Bjergsen. But he is actually a decent mid. Oh, we're about to see a dive here. No. Had he hit that Q, it may have ended up being a dive, but it might have just been to go ahead and keep him away and just have him a little bit nervous there. Vi is coming in, though, so we may see a bit of a counter gank here. The pillar lands there, going to go ahead and chop the Renekton. Renekton healed himself up. There is the ulti there from Renekton. Vi comes in, but Lee Sin was hanging around. They do shunt the Renekton under the tower there, and now Vi is caught out. They're going to go ahead and put the ward there. She gets out with her Q, but he's really low. Renekton's going to go down to that Lee Sin Q. And it looks like Vi's going to get out of this. But unfortunately for her, her teammate did not. The Mordekaiser is on his way up, though. Nidalee is trying to follow here. The Lee Sin went ahead and took out the Vi there. And let's go ahead and watch them up there as well, because I want to see exactly what happened there. Lee Sin, I know, was in the bush getting ready to be, and then the Vi came out as she saw her Mordekaiser coming in. She goes in, and she gets hit by that Q, immediately tries to get out. She does get under the tower, so that when he followed through, he ended up taking quite a bit of damage. But it did end up taking her out as well. So that was a decent trade there by Lee Sin. He would have preferred had she not jumped back under the tower. And the fact that Nidalee came along was able to go ahead and push that Mordekaiser back, so he was forced to not end up getting the kill that he desired. And down bottom, we had more action going on at the same time. There's all that action up top. There is the death sentence landing from Thresh. The box comes out. Lulu is caught inside, so he punches her back. She goes out and ultis herself. Out comes the Culling, doing not too much damage, actually. The Draven ulti comes out as well. And we actually see the... Wow. Draven decides to flash in for the Lucian there. Unfortunately for him, did not end up working. The shield came out. Thresh was able to go ahead and live through that, and Lucian just got a double kill. So that was actually really surprising. That Lucian was so low that Draven thought he'd be able to take him out in one hit. How exactly did he not end up taking him out? That's what I'm kind of curious about. Alright, so there's that. And there is that ulti. You see Lucian is ridiculously low. I think he is within 2 auto attacks. There's the first auto attack. Gets him low. The flay comes out from Thresh. And that slows Draven down enough. Draven says, fine, I'm going to take you out then, Thresh. And he does indeed turn around. Lulu comes in to help. But in comes the... that's what. Lucian came in after that death sentence landed onto the Draven. Now the Lulu realized she was in trouble. She tried to get out. It was way too late for that, though, and she was way too extended. And right now, From Maple Street is actually the only surviving member of Team 8. So he's up here just farming against the Nidalee. They've actually kind of done somewhat of a partial switch here. I don't think it's going to be a permanent thing. We're probably going to see both Nidalee and Mordekaiser head back fairly soon. If not back to base, then at very least back to mid lane. Ooh, she missed that spear. Alright, so down bottom lane, we've got Lucian, played by Hi, I'm Echo, versus the Draven, played by Slooshy8. Don't know that name, I don't think. The supports, we've got Thresh, played by Executioner Ken, versus Lulu, played by Dodo8. So I guess it's because of these two that it's Team 8? Oh, these three, actually. Finally, we've got Lee Sin, played by XDG NickWu, as discussed earlier, and he's going to be against Vi, played by Guess8. So yeah, that would be why they are Team 8. Kind of confused why these two are not 8 people, but maybe originally it was 5 people with 8 in their name, and it has since been changed. I don't know. I have not really heard too much about them. Who knows, maybe we'll end up seeing them in the Challenger Series. I'm not actually sure about the rankings of these teams, but we'll have to see what ends up happening. I do know most of the names, so I can tell you it's pretty darn high elo. Lee Sin's actually over here soloing Dragon, amusingly enough. Yeah, we've got Draven and Lulu coming over to push him back. Nilly's coming to help. Thresh and Lucian are coming from behind. Right now, it looks like the red team is in a decent position to go ahead and go for this dragon. Nice predictive play there from Thresh. Thought the Vi was going to come in. On the off chance that she had, he was ready. And he was already flaying her back. So that would not have ended up working out. But the fact that the red team did respond to Lee Sin there means that Lee Sin was not able to take that dragon quite yet. But the red team is going to go ahead and try to do some damage to this tower. Lee Sin's coming up to help. And may be able to force these guys away. He lands the Q on Mordekaiser, flashes out. Mordekaiser is tanking that tower. He's getting really low here. And he is going to go down to Lee Sin there. His ulti is on Lee Sin. Vi and Renekton were actually caught chasing the Nidalee there. So they're not going to be able to catch her, of course, because she's Nidalee. That gave Trundle the opportunity to go ahead and grab that top tower. Out comes the spear from Nidalee. She may be able to save the tower. I doubt it, though. No, the tower does indeed go down. And she's going to be forced to fall back there by that Renekton. But in the meantime, we've still got Trundle up here just pushing and pushing. Because he knows right where Renekton is. He knows he's safe. He knows Vi's down bottom. In fact, you can still see him now taking down the Lee Sin there. Oh, nice. Very nice. Landed that Q. Gonna get out of this. Draven ulti came in. Did not go quite far enough. Got really close. But it was just slightly off there. I think Vi still got the red buff. There was no red buff? Okay. What were they fighting over then? Were they just fighting in the jungle for... Oh, okay. So he was coming through the jungle possibly to go bot. And she knew about it, so she went in on him. I do like the fact that he landed the Q there, shielded himself, and then got the heck out of there. Jumped over that wall, went into the bush. Had that hit, had Draven let that go just a little bit further, he'd be dead. But... Draven, unfortunately for him, called it back a little too soon. Thought that he knew where the Lee Sin was. He was wrong, though. And it ended up not really going out for him. Ended up using that ult for pretty much nothing. Alright. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the XDG again. I'd like to see them be a little bit more of a challenge, honestly. I like seeing more people as a challenge. Like this season... I do believe that NA is stronger than last season, simply because it's got a stronger TSM, it's got still decently strong Cloud9, and we've had, back and forth between CLG, Dignitas, etc. Multiple other teams are actually doing at least decent. I mean, they're not doing the greatest. Like, Dignitas had that 6 win streak, which was great, and then all of a sudden, they kind of stopped doing that for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on with that, but either way, I think it is kind of nice having teams that are stronger. Oh, we got another fight over Baron here. Lee Sin manages to secure it, though. And Nidalee's on her way to get out of this. Lee Sin actually not taking much damage at all. The ulti is on Thresh from Mordekaiser, which means they're going to have a Ghost Thresh. Not so useful. Lee Sin's going to go ahead and take down the Mordekaiser. And the red team is still on the run. Team 8 is still on the run. Nice spear there from the Nidalee. Finishes off the Draven. And now Vi runs across an angry Trundle. So that was almost an ace. The only one left alive is going to be California Trollholes here. And yeah, he's just going to go ahead and try to... From the looks of it, he's trying to defend his mid tower here. Doesn't want them to be able to take it. But honestly, there's really not much he can do. So they ended up taking down the Thresh, yes. But the support's not really the guy you want to take down. If you have to choose somebody, the last one a lot of times you want to take down is going to be that Thresh. Using a Mordekaiser ult on a Thresh, not really so useful. Thresh doesn't really have much AD, and honestly, it's not going to work out for you. It does get rid of a team member. It gets rid of a lot of crowd control. But in the long run, it's not nearly as good as taking out somebody like, Lucian. Or... They're fighting here. They're going in. The Lantern comes out, saves the Lee Sin. Yes, he is going to get out of this. They're trying to get back. There comes the flay from Thresh. Trundle's actually chasing Vi up there. Vi got really low, not going to go down. And this pink ward here revealed that ward, but the Renekton was not able to go ahead and go for that. He's going to be forced to slash over that wall to go ahead and get away from the Trundle now. So for a second, that one looked like it was going to go in Team 8's favor. But the rest of... what was it? STNA? I don't remember. Nah. Yeah. We're going to go as Saint NA. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, STNA. I don't remember. I have already forgotten. We're going to go with Saint NA because that's about all I can remember of it. Because that's the tag. Team 8 I remember because theirs is pretty easy. Ooh, nice chunk there from the Middle East Spear. But Saint NA decided to go ahead and actually respond there, and they were able to follow through and defend their guy, and that ended up coming out in their favor. I mean, I don't think there were any deaths whatsoever, but they did force Team 8 back, and they were at least able to scare them a bit and keep them out of their jungle. That gives them that control over the jungle. Oh, just barely misses that spear. And all in all, it ends up coming out definitely good for them. With the calling coming out from Lucian, doing a lot of damage there to Mordekaiser. Lee Sin goes in as well. Down goes the Mordekaiser. Lands the ult there on the Lee Sin, though. So Lee Sin goes down as well. That ends up being a 1-for-1. The grab comes out from Thresh onto Draven. Draven does get out of it, though. And it looks like the Thresh may end up going down. We'll take a look at the rest of it. He does indeed end up going down. So let's go ahead and follow through the rest of the people. There was a very good grab there from the Thresh. Goes in, plays, but the flash comes out from Draven to get him out. And in the meantime, Vi got chunked there by that Nidalee Spear. There's the death of Thresh. Goes down to the Draven. I do like the reaction there of the Trundle to go ahead and pillar that so that Renekton couldn't really do anything. There's the ulti from Renekton, not actually doing anything because he's just kind of running around. Dodges that spear, good dodge there, but he used an ulti, and I really don't know why, because he wasn't going in or anything at the time. I guess he thought he was about to get collapsed on, but he had vision of them. So I don't know, maybe he thought he was going to go in and then changed his mind at the last second or something. But either way, he ended up not going in, and his ulti is going to be down for at least a little while. It's not a huge cooldown, though, so it won't make too big of a difference. I think Dragon should be responding within the next 2 to 3 minutes. Could have that timer down a little off, but I'm not sure. I do know it's not less than 2 minutes, because I'm pretty sure that's when the Dragon respawn timer comes back on. So, I know it's a little over that at least. But Renekton did go ahead, head up top, go ahead and shove this forward. Minions are doing some damage to the tower, but he didn't end up going for the tower himself, which is actually kind of curious to me. He probably could have taken it down had he done so. Instead, he ran to the river there, and that gave Trundle the opportunity to get up here and go ahead and shove this back. So he's not going to get that tower. He definitely could have had he done so. I mean, had he warded over here, I can understand why he walked away. Maybe he was going to go help his team mid or something and decided against it at the last second. But either way, he ended up just wasting time there. Time that he could have been using to go ahead and finish off this tower. A few more hits from Renekton could have finished that off. And unfortunately for him, he decided not to. Trundle's just going to go ahead and continue this split push. We've got Lucian down bottom, split pushing there. And kind of looks like the rest of the blue team, STNA, is actually grouping up around mid here. And they may end up pushing this forward. They're catching the Draven out in the jungle. How did he get caught there? Alright, so he's picked up by this ward. That was probably a big part of it. Yeah, picked up by the ward, and he's heading up here. Lee Sin immediately headed up, said hello, jumped to a ward that he just played, went in on the Draven. He missed his Q, but out comes the Q from Thresh there. In comes the Lucian, and that guy just melted there. Didn't even have a Nidalee Spear to do it either. It was just all them. So that was a good death sentence there for the Thresh. Got in range just in time, and oh my gosh, what almost happened to Trundle there? He got massively attacked there. We've got him coming up here, just playing around with the Renekton again. In comes the Vi, and he's taking quite a bit of damage. She's chunking his armor. He's trying to do his best to take down the Renekton. Not going to end up happening. Lulu's on her way up. Goes ahead and turns him into a little critter. And he's still trying to take down the Renekton. Out comes the Lulu ulti, though, which is definitely going to force that away. Nicely placed pillar, though, means that he actually does indeed end up getting out of this. I was about to say may get out of this, but we already knew the answer to that. He did indeed. That was a really good pillar because it blocked them, so they were forced to go around it, and it slowed them. It slowed all of them. So it ended up putting them all behind, and he was able to go ahead and secure that. Renekton, actually, he's getting his life back using that lifesteal that he has. And he knows they're after him. He was picked up by the ward there. Trundle's coming up, and he's going to go ahead and ulti again. Going to try to run through this tower to escape here. I don't think it's going to happen. The Q comes out from Lee Sin. He lands that slow. Renekton's going to go down. He does indeed go down, and he ends up going down to NickWu there. So that is going to be NickWu's 5th kill of the game. So he's having a really good game. Out comes a teleport here from Nidalee. She's coming up here. The death sentence from Thresh does not land, but the Nidalee spear does. The culling comes out, forces Mordekaiser to flash. Otherwise, he would have died there. So that was a good move from them. I mean, that was, what, 4 versus 3? And they still ended up forcing somebody to fall back. Death sentence misses again on Draven, but it's forcing them to be super cautious. Ooh! Nice job there by the Nidalee. She saw where that axe was going to land, so she threw her spear right there. You want to catch your axe? You've got to take a spear to the face. You don't want to take a spear to the face? Well, you've got to drop your axe. Either way, it comes out for a win for STNA. It did give Lee Sin time to go ahead and go for that dragon as well. So that's even more global gold for that team, and they're definitely having a great time. We've got Lucian back down bottom, split pushing here, getting a little damage on the tower. Not too much, though, as Team 8 has responded and forcing him back a little bit. If they do end up engaging, it would be a 3 versus 3, even though Team 8 has really no idea. We've got Lucian going in there. In comes the Lee Sin. He says hello, goes in, kicks the Draven back. Lucian's doing what he can to take him down. The Lee Sin's tanking the tower there, gets out of that just barely. Lucian, I'm not sure if he'll go down. He does end up taking down the Lulu before going down, but he still ends up going down. The box was able to slow down the rest of Team 8, so you don't have to worry about anybody else dying. But either way, Lucian still ended up going down, and that was shutdown gold to Mordekaiser. And that told the Team 8, hey, we should go do Dragon. Unfortunately for them, NickWu already got it. So that's a no-go for you. And meantime, we had these guys fighting over here. A little bit of a fight. That was a great pillar there blocking Renekton, saying, no, you don't get to run over that wall. And I'm pretty sure that put that on cooldown. He actually did. Let me make sure of that, though. I'm pretty sure he was actually trying to get over the wall there. Alright, there's one slash and dash. And yeah, he was about to use the other, and he just did. But as he used it, Trundle put the pillar there, which widened the distance he would have to dash, so he didn't get over that wall. That was a great play there by Arthalon, and I really like that. There we go. He still gets the slice and dice, by the way, not slash and dash, slice and dice, but he ends up going down to Trundle anyway. But either way, I liked that play there by the Trundle, pumping up that pillar just as he's using the dice and making it so he couldn't get over. By the way, sorry for saying slash and dash the entire game. I don't know why. Momentary derpage, it's gone now. It is slice and dice, and it's currently in my head, so I will remember it for at least 5 seconds. Trundle got a little cut out here. He's taking some damage from Mordekaiser, but honestly, it's Trundle. He's really not all that concerned. Uses that pillar, gonna go ahead and slow down the Mordekaiser, who gets hit by a spear, and he's getting really low. He's gonna go down to Trundle. Nice spear there from the Nidalee. Chunks the Lulu down. There's a flash from Draven. He's gonna end up going down, though. And looks like that's going to be 2 kills for nothing. And that gives STNA the opportunity to go for this tower. Flash comes out from Lucian. Oh, okay. He saw that the enemy team had surrendered. He wanted to go ahead and showboat a little. Flashed over, used his ulti just to say, hello, I'm here. And that is going to be the end of this game. That was a really good game of multiple nice plays. I really liked that one from Trundle. And the ganks there from Lee Sin. All in all, I really enjoyed this game. I hope you guys did as well. So, if so, don't be afraid to leave a like. I do actually appreciate them. And either way, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a good night. Bye.